Reddit reportedly telling potential investors on its IPO roadshow that they expect revenue in 2024 to grow by more than 20% from a year ago. That's according to a report from Bloomberg. Now, this coming as a social media company gears up for its public debut. We want to bring in Kamran Ansari. He is venture partner at Headline, joining us now with a little bit more on what to expect. So, Kamran, we got that headline out yesterday from Bloomberg. 20% revenue growth here they're expecting for the current year. What's that going to do, do you think, for investor appetite?
You know, I think not a lot at this point. I mean, I think the story's been told. Yeah. Most folks that are going to buy the Reddit stock are familiar with what it is. Reddit's a 20-year-old company. It's not a business that started yesterday. It's been a long and winding road to get here. And I think they've priced it attractively, right? The last round was at 10, 11 billion. They've priced it out about 6.5 to try to, I think, create appetite for the IPO so that you leave room for some upside and hopefully a pop on the day of the IPO for those investors.
And Kamran, you've noted there are some risks here, and also considering that first day IPO pop, they're selling a lot of shares to Reddit users, protecting the insiders. But what happens if they don't get that pop? There's just a lot of risks, and I think your list here is interesting. Maybe you could go down some of these.
Sure. I mean, look, one of the biggest risks is this very unusual move they're doing, where they're offering 8% of the float on the IPO day to the users. They're called Redditors, Redditors, or the folks that are that write the content. If you go to Reddit, I mean, I just went to the front page recently. It's really like a chat room, right? It's kind of a throwback site. It's not a very attractive site in terms of the graphics and user interface. It's really about discussion. It's kind of a throwback to the old like Tumblr and like the AOL chat room. So it's got this kind of Web 1.0 vibe. And the Redditors are the people that actually write the content, and they're subreddits. And the 8% they're offering to those folks is not locked up, meaning those people can buy and sell that stock freely the day of the IPO, the next day, which is unusual, where most people are locked up and they can't create volatility. So you may see a big run up in the stock price and a drop, similar to what we saw with Robinhood. And because this has such a rabid community around it, the Reddit users, you could see Reddit itself, ironically, become a meme stock the way that you saw happen with like AMC and GameStop.
The ultimate irony.
Yeah, it would be the ultimate irony.
Do you think it's a smart move here by Reddit to do this?
I think, I was looking into this, and then they said, look, we almost had no other choice because these are the folks that made our business. We have to show loyalty to them. And it's a business that's always had a little bit more of like a grassroots, organic, edgier vibe. This is not I was thinking, if you think of like Facebook and Google as being sort of mainstream blue chip, the prom king and the varsity quarterback, Reddit's always been a little more like the chess club, the kind of the drama people. It's kind of got that edgier, outsider vibe, and I think that's why they wanted to do this, to be a little bit different.
And you mentioned that it has that Web 1.0 feel, and they have that going for them. Is there any talk among the user base concerned that they're going to become a Web 3.0 company? They're going to be talking AI, that kind of thing. I would expect some of those concerns, but how realistic?
Like they're going to go mainstream, like we saw the band when they were little and cool, and now they're playing at the big stadium. I don't like them anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Bob Dylan, historical example.
Yeah, I was there when they were small. They mentioned a lot of AI in the S1. I'm not exactly sure how AI applies to the Reddit business. I think obviously these days it's du jour. You have to kind of mention AI and what you're doing with it. I think it can help probably with curation. And one of the things that's always been a little spicier with Reddit is the content can be not quite as advertiser friendly.
It's not all family.
Definitely not. Yeah. And that's it's supposed to be a haven for free speech. So the AI, I think, could be very useful to moderate some of the content that could be potentially in violation of their norms.
Kamran, how much is riding on Reddit's IPO, just in terms of then the future tech IPOs or the activity that we could see play out between now and year
Sure.
end?
We had a little wave at the end of 23. We thought that was going to kind of open the floodgates. It hasn't. Yeah. We had Kava, and then we had Klaviyo, Instacart, Arm. Most of which have done pretty well. Actually, Instacart's had a recent run up. Arm, I think, has doubled. And then it was quiet until now. So Reddit will be kind of the first, I think, major 2024 IPO in the tech space. And if it does well, I think you will see the other S1s that have been kind of mothballed get dusted off and hopefully brought out. Maybe Databricks, maybe Arctic Wolf, Intercom, Klarna. Some of these names have been thrown out in the tech space.
Yeah, I just love that the revolution may be Reddited. We're going to see that IPO. We're going to see those comments in real time coming. I'll give you the floor here. Anything else we haven't covered that you think might be unusual or interesting about this IPO?
It's been a 20-year journey for them. The cap table's got a lot of different folks on it than you typically see. There are celebrities. Advanced Publications, which I think is the Condé Nast company, owns a huge chunk of the business. Because over the years, this is a company that's had a lot of kind of transitions, CEO changes, and it's been a long road. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. And indeed, if a $6.5 billion IPO at that size, is that enough to really kind of awaken the market for these other names?
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by here. Headline Venture Partner Kamran Ansari.